Hey, welcome back to Off the Scales Fishing. Aaron here. And today we got a tackle warehouse unboxing video for you guys. We're talking stick baits and right on time for bed fishing. Let's get into it. So yes, you guys heard me right, man. That's right. Our fish are, they're all on beds right now. It's happening very fast as the water temps have came up, as it's really warmed up here. The lows at night have warmed up, and man, I was fishing the other day, and I mean, I seen just so many beds on this particular lake that I was fishing, and there was a male on almost every single one of them. Didn't see any big females yet, but that might be happening already. We got the full moon here in just a couple days. Man, this week I think it's really gonna go down. So they're gonna, there's no doubt there's been a couple females, I think that have moved up and spawned already, but I don't think your major wave has came yet. I think that's happening possibly this week. And they're just gonna move up in waves. So, you'll have a first wave, second wave, third wave, and depending on, what size of body or, water you're on, is how long it's going to last. So I was like, man, I need to pick up some stick baits, some worms, so I'm not always just throwing a lizard or a crawl at them, and honestly, I needed some stick baits. So let's get into this box and check them out real quick. So the first couple I got here, guys, are made by Bruiser Baits. These are right here, made in the good US of A, so that's pretty cool. It seems like a lot of your baits, come from Japan and stuff like that. So man, anytime I can get some baits from USA, man, I'm tickled to death about that. So the first one I got here, guys, is a stick worm and just the color black, just a straight up black worm. It seems to me that, some of your clearest water fisheries, they just like a black worm or like a June bug worm. They like it some like ultra natural. So that's why I picked up this black worm. And then also I got this light green pumpkin with a blue tip on it. I really like these worms a whole lot, with the tip on them. They also have some chartreuse, colors, for the tips and stuff like that. So there's two of the Bruiser baits that I got. And then, I picked up a Berkeley Power Bait General. I think all these worms that I'm showing you guys are in 5 or 6 inch. This one here is a 5 inch. And this color here is called Watermelon Copper Orange with red flake in it. So like I said, I kind of got just a variety of different colors. And then the last one I got is some that I've never tried before. And it's a brand new bait to hit the market. They're, the new mock baits. Lew's came out with a bunch of, new Lew's reels and rods and stuff like that. I'm not a big Lew's guy myself. I'm a Daiwa and Shimano guy, but now they have all these baits and stuff. So, and then I had to pick up some in the bubblegum color because, like I said, I've never tried fishing a pink worm. So this is something that's going to be completely new to me, but I've heard a lot about it in the spawn, and this is a great way to catch them on bed. So those are kind of just the stick baits that I got. So ways I'm going to fish these, is wacky style, just your straight wacky style worm, weightless worm. Everybody knows, about the wacky worm, because these fish are going to be up spawning in like 1.5 foot to 3 foot of water is the majority of them that are gonna, is the depth that they're gonna spawn in. You will have some deeper beds, and if you have some deeper beds and stuff like that, or even flipping around, as these females or these fish start staging, they'll stage on like this isolated cover on the flats, little rock piles, the littlest things they'll stage on. So if you have that, you guys can pull out your nail weights, and stick them in a worm. I got sizes from 3/32 to 1/16 to 1/8. I have a whole dedicated, finesse terminal tackle here, and then I got all my stuff labeled, right there. So, I try to be really organized when it comes to my terminal tackle with my finesse stuff. But, your wacky, nail weights. And, I'll just show you how to do that. Let's pull out one of these worms real quick. This is probably one I'm going to have rigged up. I'm going to go through a few of these worms, though, to see, which one possibly that's getting bit the best, when I'm fishing these beds, to see which one's getting bit the best. So, just your nail weight. These fish are going to be super shallow on bed, so I'll probably start with like a 1/16. And then, I'll just stick that guy, right in the, here, hold on, right down in the worm here. Like so. And if that right there, will get that worm just a little bit deeper for you guys. If you're working on like beds that are in 4 to 6 foot or maybe even deeper, that'll get that worm down just that much further. So, stick that nail weight right in that head. Or if you're flipping around, like I said, to isolated cover that's in a little deeper water, stick that nail weight in there, and you can just straight wacky rig that worm. Or the other way I'm gonna fish it, if I'm not fishing wacky style or a wacky rig, is going to be, Nico rig. So, all you do is grab your little Nico tool here, stick your worm up in there like so. And then run your O-ring, down this tool right here. Super easy to do. And then, it'll put that O-ring right on the worm right there, right? Okay. And then you can move it down to the middle or however you guys want to do that. And, that's going to be your Nico style, worm right there. So the only differences in the wacky rig and the Nico rig is the wacky rig, you're going to put your O-ring in the middle of your worm, your Senko. And then, the Nico rig, you're going to have that nail weight in it. And then you're going to drop that O-ring, probably about 90% of the way down on the head of the worm. That's your tail right there. Your nail weight goes in the head of the worm, and then you're going to drop your O-ring, about 90%, down on the worm, and then you're going to run your hook. Make sure, when you put your hook point in and all that stuff, you put it in the plastic just a little bit underneath your O-ring, and then make sure that it's facing upwards. So like when it's sitting on the bottom, like this, when you go to set the hook, you're going to get all your action in the tail, and that's why you're putting the weight in the head of the worm. You're going to get your action in the tail. That's what a Nico rig is for. But make sure you put your hook, because it's going to be sitting on the bottom like this, and you want your hook, in there like this, just the way it looks right now. So when you set the hook, that hook point, or, the hook is going to go up in the bass's, top of their mouth. You rig it the other way, your hookup ratio is just not going to be good at all. So that's the way to do that. So that's the difference. The differences between the Nico rig and, your wacky rig. And then, you're going to use, the hooks that I like to use the most are, I got a couple versions of the weedless style Nico hooks, or wide gap weedless hooks, but they got that little weed guard on them, that little nylon weed guard. I got a couple different styles here. This one right here is like, they're also called mosquito hooks, I think. So, I got that style right there, and then a little bit more of a wide gap one right here, which I really like that wide gap. I think, it'll be that much better hookup ratio. So those are my two weedless hooks that I'll run for like real weedy lakes. If I'm not fishing around a whole bunch of weeds, I'm definitely gonna, just use your standard, wide gap hook right there without the weed guard. So, so those are probably my three favorite, hooks that I'm gonna use right there for Nico rigging, or your wacky style type, hooks or whatever. So, I mean, all you're going to do is take one of these hooks, for Nico rigging, and you're just going to stick that guy literally just right under the O-ring. Like so. Put them just barely in the plastic, and that's what you got right there. So I mean, that right there, as it's pendulating down the water and doing its thing, wacky rigging. Like I said, you can move this around, to get the type of action that you guys want. But I mean, that's your Nico rig or your wacky style rig. So I mean, it's not a whole lot to it. Like I said, if you got to get a little deeper, drop a nail weight in there, and I mean, that's pretty much all that's to it, guys. Super excited to try these out, because there's a time and place where you're just gonna get bit off this more than flipping a lizard or a crawl into their bed. I mean, you're going to catch some fish like that, but you're going to get some super stubborn fish that they're not going to bite that at all. So this is a great way to target them fish. And let me tell you, when you hook up into a real big female on a spinning reel, man, does it get any better than that? Because, I mean, you are going to be in for a fight, and it's going to be a whole lot of fun. So gear that I'm going to fish this on is just going to, I got a 7-foot Shimano in Tesna. I hope I say that right. In Tesna, something like that. Anyway, and then I pair it up with a Shimano Ultegra, 2500 reel right here, and I run braid to fluoro with the FG knot, for sensitivity. So I mean, that's pretty just my standard spinner reel setup. I do want to get a medium light. This is a medium action rod right here, but so I need to get a medium light spinning setup as well for even lighter fishing techniques. So one more thing I wanted to share for you guys is something I've just been hearing about a little bit as far as bed fishing, because that's kind of what we're talking about today, is pulling out a big worm. Typically I fish these in the post spawn, and this is an Old Monster 10.5 and the spray grass color. I love this freaking color, man, in the post spawn. Absolutely smash them in the post spawn on this thing. But from what I'm hearing now, and this I think came from Japan, I watched a video on YouTube, and some guy was talking about when the big females are on bed, is wacky style, hooking a big ribbon tail worm. I mean, these are just my favorite worms, so that's why I showed you guys this one. But the Old Monster 10.5, and try wacky styling that thing. I might try that just to see, because females like big baits, and so I'm just sitting here thinking, like, maybe maybe this would work. You know, maybe it's just a bigger type thing that's coming into their bed and it's a little bit more intrusive to them. So I think I'm going to try that. You know, if I see some huge fish on bed and they're just not not biting anything else, I'll tie this big joker on and wacky style him, you know, and give that a shot. So just something to think about, guys. You know what I mean? Like, pull out that big worm and give it a shot. So I think I'm going to try it. So pretty much to wrap up this video, guys, you know, don't be afraid to break out the spinning gear on them. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of guys that, you know, do when it comes to bed fishing. I mean, there's probably plenty of guys that, you know, only fish spinning reels, which is fine. I'm not a huge finesse guy, so I'm trying to get better at these techniques. I'm more of a power fisherman, but man, it is a whole lot of fun when you catch some bigger fish. I mean, it doesn't even have to really be bigger fish, you know, when it comes to spinning reels. You know, your 2 and 3 pounders, you know, can give you a really good fight on some spinning reels. So, you know, like I said, just don't be afraid to get out there, try some finesse techniques, because I know for a fact these will get bit, you know, when other things are not working. So, so give these guys, you know, give these a try. Get out there on the water right now, guys, because man, it is absolutely go time. I got some on the water, you know, some more on the water videos for you guys coming for sure. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope this helped you out a little bit or whatever, to open up your mind to some more finesse techniques if you're not doing it. But I appreciate you guys as always. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Have a great day.